As someone who's worked with electronics, I understand that you're going to have a lot of paperwork piling up. It could be schematics, just random notes, or data sheets. There's a good example right there. However, we're getting better at this. PDFs are really helping improve how we're able to store data electronically. But the idea of the paperless office, we're still nowhere near having something like that. But there have been a couple of good attempts. In 1989, Canon came out with the Canofile, a large device which you could scan in your documents, you could store your documents electronically, and of course you could share these documents around the office. And of course, if you wanted to, you could print it out again. And this looked like it was going to be a great way to do it. Unfortunately, Canon's idea of the paperless office didn't take off, and the Canofile itself is the reason to take blame on that one. For starters, look how big it is. It just completely dominates that desk. Look at the PC right next to it. It's even smaller than the Canofile. The other thing you have to remember is that this was a very expensive office product. When this is in the era when photocopiers were, and they still are, tens of thousands of dollars, the Canofile was also in that $10,000 range. Not the kind of thing most people would have duplicates of in their office. Compounding that problem even worse, within a few years they were having major reliability problems with the magneto-optical drive themselves. Well, it wasn't the media or the disks that were the problem, it was the drives. And if you're an owner of a NeXT Cube, you know this quite well. Canon also manufactured these magneto-optical drives exclusively for NeXT computers for use in their Cube machines. By the mid-90s, it was starting to become quite obvious that the reliability problems were making these drives drop like flies. In the Cube, that wasn't too bad as you still had the option of an external hard disk, but in the Canofile, major problem, because you couldn't get access to any of your data. By the late 90s, most people were junking their Canofile machines and switching to other methods, or going back to using traditional paper for all of their filing. For us North Americans, we would assume that was the end of it. But in the mid-90s, Sony was also playing with the idea, and in 1996 they released the Eata, a much smaller document scanning device that sat on your desk and used mini discs, or MD data format mini discs, for the storage of your documents. The major advantage they had besides size over the Canofile was that they were also much cheaper. This particular model here, the PDF V55, only costs 150,000 yen in $1998. With the one brochure I can actually find on this product, the only thing I can really interpret from it, besides it all being in Japanese, again, because it's a Japanese exclusive product, is that they were trying really hard to make it a much more user-friendly device compared to, say, the Canofile. Also, along with the basic MD data cartridge, a pen, and the AC adapter which came with this particular model unit, there were a couple of rather nice add-ons you could also buy, including a parallel port adapter and software that lets you plug it into your computer for only 50,000 yen, a parallel port adapter for 8,000 yen, which would let you plug it into your printer. There was also a hand scanner for oddly shaped devices for 29,800 yen, another MD data cartridge you could buy just in case you needed more space for 2,500 yen, cleaning sets, and one of those teleprompter-like devices which you could use to basically read back whatever you're seeing on the screen in case you're doing, say, a speech or dictating something. Now, nobody has one of these on their desks today, so it's pretty obvious they did not take off either. In fact, I didn't even know it ever existed, and I kind of liked the whole idea of MD data to the point I've been looking for an MD data drive for years. I would have already expected to have seen at least hints or mentions of one of these devices, but that never happened. Anyways, when I was in Japan this summer, I actually found one of these, and it wasn't all that expensive. I also found a couple of peripherals, and I found a workable AC adapter, and I brought it back with me. So enough with photographs, let's actually play with the unit itself. And now, at great expense, here it is. There's not a whole heck of a lot to the machine. Actually, I bought two of these. And here's a second one I also bought. It's a bit more grungy and beat up, but this one also works here. It does have an issue with the backlight that I'm working on, but that should be easy to do an LED conversion on. But this is the unit itself. It's actually remarkably thin. It has a adjustable base on it, so I don't want to go there. Oh, where is it? There we go. Like there, there, and I think there was... Now, it's just 3 different positions. Can I even get to that position? No, I can. Okay, yeah, 2 positions. There you go. Not a whole heck of a lot. The whole front of the unit here, it's not a resistive touchscreen. It's not even capacitive. Look on the back. Wacom pen. And you can use that to manipulate any of the data or use any of the functions or the controls or anything on the screen there. We'll play with that a little bit later. We have on one side here, we have our contrast control, this convenient little door, which when you open up, you have two connections. First one here you have is for, well, the printer or the parallel connection, pretty much. So that's that one cable we were talking about. And then we have the other one up here, which is scanner. And that's one of the cool things I found when I was in Japan, was I found the scanner for it. And it screams that it's a Logitech scanner. Like, in every single way or manner, the switches are in the same spots. It has to be a Logitech scanner. But yeah, you plug it in, and you can just go over your documents, like say a book or something like that, and just be like, boom, and you're done. And you don't have to actually scan it in through the sleeve, which is right here, to do your scanning. And there's also a power connection on the downside here with one of those stupid, I guess you call it an inverted drum or whatever. Anyways, I hate them. And this was a pain in the ass to get the adapter for. I believe this is it's a Panasonic AC adapter. It's not the original Sony adapter I found. And yeah, here's the price tag up here for it. I actually bought this at Hard Off. If you ever go to Japan and you're looking for cool electronic stuff, go to Hard Off. I wouldn't recommend the one in Akihabara, but there's one that's just up north, and I believe just past Nirmaya Station, and that one's fantastic. This is where I got both of these ones. This was 864 yen, and I loved it. I really recommend you go there. Anyways, only thing you have on the other side here is this beautiful little slot here, which is not for a floppy disk, like I've already mentioned. It's for MD data. Now, I don't have any MD data cartridges. All I have is mini disc. And that's what I have right here. And unfortunately, as I'm about to show you, we have a bit of a problem with that. Alright, and now we're all set up here, so I'm just going to push the power button. Makes a nice little beep. It does have a bit of a bluish tint here, but that's more the camera caused now. It's got a much nicer, whiter shade to it. But yeah, I couldn't get the color white balance to work on that. And comes up to this. Data personal MD file, personal MD file, blah, blah, blah. Version 1.01, copyright 1997. The other unit I have actually is version 1.02, but I'm not seeing any differences here at all. So, like, there's really no difference. But we have three options here, and I do apologize. I know just about no Japanese, so I'm basically blindly going through these menus. And I have the pen here. Unfortunately, it's only a single-sided recognizing digitizer, so we'll do this one here, which I assume is settings for the system. We bring that up, and it does actually hold a time. So it's currently September 3rd, 8:31 a.m. Okay, that's actually lying. It's like 4:31 a.m., but maybe I just haven't set that properly. I believe that's just to set the time and date there. Yeah, that just sets time and date. That gets me out of the menu. This one here is to set the volume for the beeper. Then we have three buttons down here. This one here it's pretty simple. It's just calibration for the screen. This one here tells us how we want to arrange everything on here. Do we want it in portrait or landscape? And do we want the frames to be arranged as such? I don't really care about that right now. Which way do we want to have them arranged in order? Again, personal. It's all personal preference stuff. Not entirely sure what this means. Something here to be toggled on and off. I'm not sure. I should really be catching up on my katakana because there is a fair amount here, but I'm just sucking really bad at reading it. So there's a couple more settings here, but anyways, we're just gonna cancel out of that. And then we have the other options here for the disc, but we'll get to that in a moment. First, hints. That's very foreboding. Something. MD data. Okay. What is the other one? Right. I usually only get hints out of a lot of stuff, like 15. 15 could be anything here. I don't know. Anyways. And where are we? Right. Last one. Again, I don't know any of these. But yeah, let's get back on to making the system actually work. We'll go to the disk settings here. And All these options here are grayed out, so I don't know if you can. Yes, you can see it. Password protection, disk labeling, disk first aid, and initializing the disk, but it wants me to insert a disk. Okay, well, we can do that. We still have our fancy mini disk here. I mean, MD datas and mini disks look the exact same technology and all that, so we should be totally cool. Let's go and insert that now. Up. And, oh, there we go. So it is reading the disk. It didn't like something. So, okay, so it just goes right back to that. And so it's reading. Is it going to let me initialize the disk or something like that? Or something. Okay. So eject. Oh, that's unfortunate. What I've found out just simply by random guessing, you cannot use mini discs. There's something about the formatting or something specific about MD data cartridges that won't let you off the bat just use a mini disc. And that makes my life completely hard, because when I was in Japan, mini discs and regular magneto-optical discs are everywhere. I can go to Hard Off and I can buy like a pack of 10 640 megabyte 3.5-inch optical discs for 1,000 yen, 1,200 yen. Mini discs I was getting for like 200 yen. MD data, couldn't find anything. So the only way for me to get one right now is to buy one, and there's only like 2 or 3 on eBay, and they're $20 to $25 each before shipping. So just to use this is going to cost a little bit of chump change. And no, that's all I can do. I can't actually use the scanner. I can't demonstrate anything like that without an MD data cartridge. So I am working on that. I do kind of wish I could be able to compare this with a Canofile, but I've never seen a Canofile before. If there's anyone out there who might actually have one hidden away, squirreled away somewhere, sure, what the hell, I'd be interested in it just for like kicks and whatever. But unfortunately, that's as far as we're going to be able to get with actually demonstrating how the machine works. But I wonder what it's like inside. Right, so when I went to open this thing up, it only took a regular cross-headed screwdriver, whatever the hell you want to call it. Anyways, 4 screws. That's all it is. Here, 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 and here. And also I noticed, when I lifted this back, there's a set of holes right here, as well as a reset button. And I can actually see there's metal in there, so I'm kind of curious on what's going to happen there. But yeah, to open it up, once the screws are out, just kind of, there we go. And there's ribbon cables in there as well. Wow, this is really simple. So, just gonna pop those off. There's really not a whole heck of a lot in here. So yeah, this is the display unit. Wacom digitizer's probably behind here. Backlight tube's been in here. I've been in here once already, sorry. So, but yeah, backlight tube's in here. It's a simple to remove panel if you want to change the tube. This is the inverter. There's not even any brightness controls here, so honestly, the conversion over to an LED doesn't look like it's going to be all that hard on the other unit. But we're just going to put that off to the side for now. And this is where things get really cool. The Canofile was huge. This is all there is inside of the data eater. I'm just going to call it the eater, sorry. I can't work with data Eata. Here's the MD data drive, nothing all that special. Has a funky little ribbon cable connection over here. I'm not going to unplug that, and I'm assuming that's power right there. So I'm curious what kind of interface this is, because even if one of these end up dead, and I don't know, it's always going to be interesting. Maybe I could use this attached to a computer or something like that, or, you know, just that legendary we're using mini discs with computer kind of thing. And down here is, I don't want to unscrew it. This is the scanner. This is all there is to it. And I can see it's actually notched here, so you can actually put regular size paper, and I'm assuming this is where a say a card or business card or something like that will fall through, because again, Japan's still big into business cards. I don't know how many people have handed me a business card here in North America in the last 5 years. I think it was like 3 or 4 cards in comparison to any place I've wanted to go. And there's a lot of surface mount capacitors on this. It's all surface mount on here. Here's the Wacom controller chipsets here. I'm assuming this is ROM. We have a CDX or CXD 306 chipset here. We have a Hitachi H something 37043 F28, and I'm assuming that's probably the main CPU for the whole unit here. And we also have these 2 terminals here, and I'm assuming there's a battery on the other side of this. We're gonna pop this out here, so I'll come right back to you on that. Okay, so it took like 8 screws over here to get the board out, and all these cables had to be disconnected anyways. Yeah, I did have to unplug that, oh well. I'm not going to go into here. I don't want to screw over the drive in case it does work. There was 2 screws hidden on the parallel port, and that drove me crazy there for a bit, but other than that, it's just a cam up. We can pull it out, and aha! So there are a set of pins right here. Landings, as they're calling them. So yes, I'm assuming that you can plug something in here. Maybe it's for diagnostics or evaluation on rollout or something like that, and that's how it's managing to do, or that's what these holes here are for. And we do have, I'm assuming we have more components over here. CXK58 1000 AM. I'm 70 LL. I'm assuming it's 70 nanoseconds. And yeah, here's our battery, our CR2025 lithium cell, 3 volt. That's nothing special. And I just realized there's more landings up here as well, but these ones are have to be guaranteed for testing purposes. So for example, it marks VCC, and there's my ground. Is there anything on the other side? No, just an unpopulated header here. And I'm curious, they've left some sort of flux on here, not trying to glare it, on some of these connectors here. I'm assuming this is just a byproduct of when they were soldering it in. But yeah, this is kind of amazing. From what we saw from the Canofile, which I'm assuming was mainly just scanning engine, this is the one circuit board which makes this entire device work. And I want to see something here. Is this an aluminized surface for shielding? Where is my... Yeah, one thing electronic document storage can't do is tell you where the hell you've hidden your multimeter. I'm just going to quickly check something here. Maybe it's that conductive. Oh, it is! Wow! Okay, so yes, this is, I'm assuming some sort of aluminization they've sprayed onto it, and this is just for shielding. And that's all the shininess is, but it's also very conductive, so I wouldn't want anything shorting out against that. And can I see... Now, there's more capacitors in here. That's what's terrifying me, is that we know now that these surface mount capacitors are not a good thing. So they're probably going to end up failing or leaking here pretty soon. And then we're going to have our own little problems. And well, we know what the simple fix is. You got to take them all off, and you got to solder new ones on, and it's a real nightmare. Anyways, I'm just going to throw this back together. Right, so here we are again. I've actually managed to bring out the other one, which was kind of all beat up. I've never actually fully tested it, but yeah, like, you gotta use the pen to do anything into it. It also absolutely refuses to do anything with a regular mini disc, and the screen's so dim, but it has this... It's obvious that the slider control for the contrast is really screwy on this one here, so this is almost assured to be a parts unit unless I do some major work on it. But this is the yeah, this was the Data Eata, and there was a model made before this, and that was the one that was released in 1996. It was gray. It was a bit more chunky. It also had the scanner at the base, and there was also, I believe, a model after this where it was a bit more tablet sized. It came with a battery, so you could carry it around, and it got rid of the hand scanner, but in its place, we had the ability to detach the scanner section right here, and you could actually scan documents using that. But basically what you had here at that point was an e-reader that could actually digitize documents. But that's it. It didn't catch on. Sony completely denies they ever made such a product like this. Of all places, I found a page through a Microsoft employee that actually talked about it, but there's nothing else about this online. There's maybe a couple photographs from Japan, and there's a couple of pages that are incomplete Japanese, but there's nothing. There's nothing. It was never a North American product. Doesn't even appear to have been a European product or anything like that. Stayed in Japan the whole its life. Died in Japan. And it's a real pity because it's a rather nice unit. Anyways, thank you for watching, and have a good one.